This is what Obama has done. And I want to tell you something. The Rebbe is going to destroy that man for many reasons. One, the Rebbe wants two things to happen. It's interesting. I'm going to dwell next week on that. What Rebbe wants, Yishmael and Esav, you don't realize who they are. The original Yishmael, the son of Avraham Avinu, he did tshuva, and he was a tzaddik. You see that because the expression that the Torah uses by the death of Yishmael, vayigva. You see, and Chazal say that is only used when it's a tzaddik. He was a great man, Yishmael. He started off pretty bad, we know that, But in the end, he did tshuva because he let Yitzchak go first to bury Avram. That's how Chazal know. In fact, that's why the Tanoim that called Yishmael. How could you name a Tanoim after a Russia? Rabbi Shmuel, right? And the answer, of course, is that he's a tzaddik and so on and so forth, And we don't realize that Yishmael also was part of the Tikkun. And that's why he had 12 tribes. There are 12 chieftains of Yishmael. He also was part of the Tikkun. So what the Rebbe wants is Yishmael to come back and be part of the Tikkun of Klal Yisrael. Now, all nations of the world, after the Mashiach comes, will recognize God. That's clear like that, okay? But he wants Yishmael not to be at the end to recognize God, but to be part of the Tikkun process, which is an unbelievable reward that they will get. And by the way, he wants to do it to Esav. And I'll talk about next week. That's what Obama is Esav doing tshuva, being part of the Tikkun process. But put that aside. So Obama had that role. Trump. Obama had that role. The role of Obama, really what he should have done, and he had why do you think the Rebbe gave him the House, the Congress? He had the Congress for 2 years. He could have done incredible things. What the Rebbe wanted is this person, and boy is he defiant. He has the koich of defiance, which is very important. You see, he wanted him to confront the Arabs and say, what are you guys doing? What are you guys, crazy? Why don't you pick the Palestinians and put it in the 22 million square kilometers? What are you taking a small state and you want to divide that? There's such an unbelievable injustice. And for what? Well, how can there be a two-state solution? It's absurd. Why? Because it's not occupied territory. It's not yours. You never had it. All you guys basically came from Syria. You can't have it. It's like, imagine, I remember Louis Farrakhan, he wanted to have the blacks have a new state in the South. Of course they laughed at the guy. You're part of America and that's the end of it. Just because you have blacks doesn't mean you can have now a state that's black. You know what I'm saying? The same thing. And Arabs are, if they want to be part of Israel, fine. But they're not, there's no state that we can say is occupied. You see. So the Rebbe wanted Obama to confront the Arab world, because he's a Muslim, you see? And that would have brought the Yishmael back into the fold. Because in the end, the Rebbe does not want to destroy. He wants the nations to be righteous and so on. You don't realize the Rebbe is an infinite Rahmanis, and Obama could have done it. Why? Do you know what he did? Do you know when Obama was elected? We say it's an inauguration. It wasn't an inauguration. It was a coronation. King. When he was elected in 2008, everybody worshipped the man, if you remember that far back. He had incredible power. He had the U.S. in his hands because everybody was willing to submit. Whatever you want is divine. I remember there was a newscast that said that chills ran down his back when he was inaugurated. This is not an inauguration. It's a coronation of a king. Why? Why did Moshe do that? This isn't Obama. It's the hand of God. Why? Because he wanted Obama to have that power of incredible respect. And he gave him the Congress. And this guy is nobody from nowhere. Community organizer, excuse me, that's how you become president? He had no experience. Even in the Senate, he was just there for what? A couple of months? But the Rebbe chose him, you see, in order to bring back Yishmael. And therefore, I will give you such unbelievable submission of the American people, you can say anything and you're right. Not only that, you will have the Congress. What power! I mean, he was the most powerful man in the world. He could easily have he could have confronted the Arabs. which is what Clinton should have done, and that's why the Rebbe is destroying both of them, Bill and Hillary. But put that aside, talk about them next week, and so on. They deserve their own time. But in any case, that's what the Rebbe wanted, but he failed. Why? Because Obama's a megalomaniac. He's delusional. He thinks he's God, you see. And that's why he destroyed himself. His gaiva killed him. And that's why the Rebbe will destroy him. Why? Because remember when Netanyahu went to the White House, he had him coming through the back door. You remember that? You have any idea what a bizoin that is? It's not just for Netanyahu. It's a bizoin to God's children. It's his people. How dare you treat? And Netanyahu, Israel, is an ally. It's unbelievable. This is why you treat an ally? Forget about that he's Jewish. You know? How do you treat an ally like that? And Israel is an incredible ally to Israel. America has no greater ally than Israel. Everybody knows that. And you make them go into the back door, and then you put your foot up on the table and say, I got to eat lunch, hang around until I come back? What a bizoyan for the Jewish people. So Bansham says, wait, I'm not finished with you. Okay, how is he destroying him? 1, the end of his presidency. 2, Hillary lost, so there's no continuity in his legacy. 3, his legacy. Trump is overturning his whole legacy. You have any idea the greatest suffering of a megalomaniac is that he's going to be forgotten? That's exactly what's happening. He has no legacy, no continuity, you see. And not only that, that's not even the beginning. The contrast, because when Trump makes America great again, which he will, okay, so everybody's going to look at Obama and say, how come you couldn't do it? You see. And I hold the biggest bizoyan is yet to come, because they're building, I think for a couple of $100 million, they're building a library in Chicago. It's called the Presidential Library, right? So you know what they're going to have? They're going to have like this. They're going to have all his papers and his legislation. And next to each one, it's going to say, canceled, canceled, canceled. Could you imagine going into a museum, his papers, and next to each one it says, canceled. You got to hear this. There was a talk show host, okay? Sean Hannity. Good guy. Sean Hannity, okay. He asked Newt Gingrich, which is a very good guy. Gingrich loves Israel. You know, he said like this. I mean, you got to hear this. He said to Newt Gingrich, he says, wait a minute. If Trump is going to undo all his legacy, everything, so who's going to remember Obama? How do you know he's president? Forget about canceled, canceled, and canceled. You wouldn't even know this guy was president. So Newt Gingrich looked at him and said, you know, it's interesting, but I'll tell you how you'll know. You'll know because every president has a right to have his portrait in the White House. So as you're passing through the portraits, you're going to say, who's this guy? So they'll tell you, well, he's the 44th president. You remember him. I don't know this guy. Because there's no legislation from him. There's nothing. So the only way you'll know that he was the president is from his portrait. Other than that, he's a footnote in history. You have any idea what kind of einish that is for a megalomaniac? It's incredible what's going to happen. And I want to tell you something. God is the greatest chess player in creation. What does that mean, right?